Well, as you have talked about publicly, you have toxic mold. You've been exposed to it, right? And I think in Florida.
That's the theory.
Yeah, that's the theory. And so what happens with toxic mold is it kind of hijacks your immune system and makes it difficult for your immune system to function properly. And so what we did for you the first time was we did intravenous stem cells, which is to help your body to build some resiliency and to strengthen.
Right, and that was different than the exosome. Tammy did that as well, but she also did the exosome treatment, which I didn't do.
Yes, yeah. Because your problem's more systemic. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to do what are called intravenous natural killer cells. And natural killer cells, as we talked about earlier, are the cells in your innate immune system that can kill it can kill cancer, it can kill chronic fungal infections, which is kind of what happens with mold. So it's basically giving your body the...
What do you make of that sick building syndrome literature?
I think it's very underappreciated because a lot of physicians don't test for mold, and they have a lot of patients with chronic illnesses that...
Well, the literature is horrifying, you know? I mean, I was reading about the state of military accommodations across the United States and the unbelievably high levels of mold toxicity that military personnel are exposed to. It's absolutely horrifying. In fact, you can't read it. I guess it's about as bad as the discovery that asbestos was causing cancer. I mean, asbestos was used everywhere. And all of a sudden it was like, we're killing people, like lead in gas.
Exactly.
I mean, these things have happened before.
And there's a new theory on cancer. It's called cell suppression theory, which and now is getting a lot of traction, is basically that the idea that fungal spores are hijacking the cell and preventing cell apoptosis. So they're preventing the cell from functioning properly. So then they're saying that the root cause of cancer is actually potentially fungal infections, in addition to everything else that happens with genomic instability. But this is one of the potential risk factors because we all get exposed to funguses all the time. It's part of living in a modern environment. Most people's immune system can deal with it, but some people's immune system can't.
Well, especially if they're in a place where they're being chronically exposed at levels that they can't actually tolerate.
Exactly. So how do we build the resiliency in your body so you can deal with those fungal infections? We give you the cells to do that. And that's what the natural killer cells are going to do. And eventually, we probably give you the FMT as well. So we can give you your...
And FMT is
the fecal microbial transplant.
Oh, yes.
Because then your body, again, we're strengthening your immune system and we're building resiliency for you to deal with these chronic infections in your body. So it all comes back to first principles. And that's the biggest, I think, takeaway for people to understand is biology is moving at this point, at this alarming pace almost, where we're where we're understanding down to a single cell function, how cells can operate and target those, make very specific targeted interventions, as opposed to just being like, take this pill and hopefully your disease doesn't progress.